It's your friendly math tutor, Miss C here, and today we are talking quadratic functions, specifically the discriminant. So, what is the discriminant? It's essentially the part of the quadratic formula under the root bar. So you can see the text in yellow is the discriminant, the b squared minus 4ac. And why do we use it? Well, the discriminant lets us know quickly how many real roots a quadratic function has. So sometimes that's asked on the SAT, sometimes your math teacher might ask it, sometimes you might need it for a real world situation. So here are our options. We can have two real solutions. Here are graphs where we have two real solutions. You can see each graph passes through the x-axis twice. So the left side is just your regular upward facing parabola, and the left graph is the reflected parabola. What you're going to notice here is that when you put this into the discriminant, what's underneath that root bar is positive and it's greater than 0. So that creates a graph that crosses the x-axis twice. We also have an option for one real solution. And here are the graphs of that. You're going to notice that we touch the x-axis. Our graph touches the x-axis in exactly 1 point. So in this case, the discriminant is equal to exactly 0. This graph is also called a double root or a repeated root because when you get your solution out, you get the same root twice. And we also have an option for 0 real solutions. So here's an example, and here's an example. What you're going to notice is in the upward facing parabola as well as the reflected parabola, neither graph passes through or touches the x-axis. So in this case, b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. And the reason these are called non-real solutions is because when the discriminant is less than 0, it creates a negative under the root bar, and it causes our graph to have imaginary roots, sometimes called non-real roots or non-real or imaginary solutions. So we're going to find how many real roots each quadratic function has using the discriminant. So I'm going to start with my first problem over here, and I'm going to write my discriminant. And I always think it's a good idea to write your values of a, b, and c. So in this case, a is 1. Remember, if there's not a number in front of your variable, it's always a 1. In this case, this negative has a hidden 1. So b is -1 and c is 12. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and substitute. Because all of b is squared, I need to make sure when I put my -1 and I put parentheses around it because the negative is being squared as well. Okay, when I do that, -1 squared is 1 minus 4 times 1 times 12. That gives me -48. 1 minus 48 is -47. What that means is that my discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, is less than 0. That means I have 0 real solutions. So that means that this graph of this parabola is not going to intersect at all with the x-axis. All right, let's do the next one. So here I'm going to go ahead and write out my a, b, and c. So a is -0.5, b is 4, c is equal to -8. I'm going to go ahead and substitute this in for the discriminant, 4 squared, so b squared, minus 4 times -0.5 times -8. So 4 squared is 16. I've got 3 negatives. A negative times a negative times a negative keeps this negative. Half of 4 is 2. 2 times 8 is 16. So I subtract 16 here. 16 minus 16 is 0. That means our discriminant, b squared minus 4ac equals 0. That means I have one real root. That means this parabola intersects with the x-axis in exactly one spot. This is a repeated root. And that is what you need to know about the discriminant. Make sure to subscribe and follow for more math videos. Till next time, remember, you've got this.